Hi, this is Abid Bansal. I'm an author and a life coach in the art of conscious living. I have made myself available here with just one simple intention to spread the right awareness about the phenomena of life, what many people today call as manifestation.
I know that saying, believe in your dreams, it sounds cliche, but I guarantee you the only thing that got me here was believing in my dream. I never doubted it. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I knew I was hidden away on this little rock Barbados, and how would anybody find me? But I always knew it would happen. I always focused on the result. And that kind of faith, it really was just faith, that childlike faith. And even now, when I get a little bit discouraged or doubtful, it's the thing that I go back to, having faith in God like that, even as a child. And I want to encourage not just the people of Westbury New Road and Westbury community, but all of the people in Barbados, all the young women and young men who have dreams and think that the world is up against them. It is possible. So just keep believing. I know that saying, believe in your dreams, it sounds cliche, but I guarantee you the only thing that got me here was believing in my dream. I never doubted it. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I knew I was hidden away on this little rock Barbados, and how would anybody find me? But I always knew it would happen. I always focused on the result. And that kind of faith, it really was just faith, that childlike faith. And even now, when I get a little bit discouraged or doubtful, it's the thing that I go back to, having faith in God like that, even as a child. And I want to encourage not just the people of Westbury New Road and Westbury community, but all of the people in Barbados, all the young women and young men who have dreams and think that the world is up against them. It is possible. So just keep believing. I know that saying, believe in your dreams, it sounds cliche, but I guarantee you the only thing that got me here was believing in my dream.
So, what you have just seen now is a global icon and visionary entrepreneur Rihanna. We all know Rihanna, and she was speaking in her homeland of Barbados. It was November of 2017. She stood before her people at the official ceremony marking the renaming of her childhood street to Rihanna Drive. And if you look at this video closely and what she said, and if you listen to the depth of her confession, she did not speak of luck. No, she did not attribute her miraculous rise to some kind of human connections or favorable circumstances, maybe family status. No. She spoke of one thing and one thing only: an inner, unwavering conviction. And she simply declared that I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I always knew that it would happen. I always focused on the result. Without referencing any ancient text or modern psychology, she explained in her own way the fundamental law of creation, and she was revealing the secret of how the unseen becomes seen. Now, if you have already comprehended the true depth of what she was saying, I would suggest you to close this video. If you know what you have to do right now, if you have understood by just looking at the video, you can close the video now and go about your own way, practicing the law till its absolute limit, till your desires come into reality. Now, if you can just understand the context of Rihanna's origin. So, Barbados is just a tiny, isolated island nation in the Caribbean Sea. Its total land area is just 430 square kilometers, or you can say 166 square miles. It is just 34 kilometers long and 23 kilometers wide. And to put it into the perspective, the entire nation of Barbados could fit comfortably inside the geographical boundaries of single metropolitan city like London or New York. We all know Barbados is undeniably a place of breathtaking and beautiful landscape. But when it comes to global entertainment, international media, or maybe massive commercial opportunity, it is not New York, it is not London, it is not Mumbai. It is just a distant speck on global map, separated by thousands of miles of ocean from the traditional epicenters of the industry. Rihanna reflected on this very truth. She shared how as a young girl, while she was growing up on what she called Barbados as this little rock, she was completely hidden away. The reason, the logic, and the physical senses would have looked at this little girl, little Rihanna, on that tiny island and pronounced the verdict of impossibility that any dream of such degree would be impossible. How could anyone ever find you here on this little rock? How could a girl from this isolated piece of land ever reach the absolute summit of global culture? Yet she refused to take the counsel from her own senses. And in one of the legendary lectures, Neville Goddard quoted scriptures to remind us of the supreme truth governing all human experience. And he says, all things are possible to him who believes. And I say to you today, with absolute certainty, that it is true. It is an immutable law. All things are possible to the one who believes. Possibility is not dictated by your location, your background, or your other parameters like bank balance or present circumstances. No. Outer world is merely a shadow, a reflection of consciousness. So when you fix your inner vision upon the end result, when you occupy the feeling of dream, the entire universe with all its infinite ways and means just move to bring your inner state into physical manifestation. And this truth, that your inner world creates your outer world. It's not just a nice idea found in old books or books of Neville Goddard or some Hermetica, or maybe seen only in the famous celebrities. It is the very law that works in the very lives of everyday people. And just this past week, if I can share my own experience, I was guiding a person from India during one of my life coaching sessions. This person told me that this person comes from a very humble background in the all means and necessary and parameters of humbleness. And when I say humble, I mean humble in every way possible. And in their environment, I believe no one can expect much from a person from very humble background. And the world told them to just get a simple degree, find a routine job, live a quite ordinary life, just like everyone else. And let me tell you, in fact, this person was the first and only member of their entire family to ever hold a passport or travel outside of the country. And that shows you where they started. And yet, as we talked throughout the session, this person told me about a dream they carried as a child. It wasn't a practical or safe dream per se as what people describe as impractical dream. It was a pure, wonderful dream from childhood. That the person wanted to work in the space or aero agencies like NASA, or maybe an astronaut, or something of the similar nature. And if you look back at your own childhood right now, you will remember what that feels like. A child's dream is completely pure. A child does not worry about how hard things are, or how much money they have, or what is logically possible. They just believe. And now, where is this person today? Today, the same person who came from a place of no special advantages has worked as an intern at NASA or NASA. Now they are living and working in a country where millions of people only dream of settling. Only dream. Who would have thought that a childhood dream, if kept alive in the heart, would come true like this? There were no special privileges to make it happen. There was only one thing, a deep, unshakable belief in a dream. And when I heard this story, I saw Rihanna in that person. I saw the exact same principle at the work, the same childlike faith that takes someone from a very small, humble beginning all the way to the great destiny. And when I tell you that everything is possible for the one who believes, it is not just a feel good phrase, it is the absolute truth. And yet, if we look at what most of us have done to our own dreams, sadly, most people have already buried them. And when I ask my friend, or maybe friends, you can say, about their big dreams they had when they were young, while they were a child, they usually laugh and say, "Oh, I know how silly I was to dream such a foolish things." They call their childhood dream as foolish dreams. Just think about that. The dream was never foolish. What made them call it foolish was their limited idea of what is possible. They let the outer world convince them that their vision was impossible. They gave up on their own creative power. For this person from India, that foolish dream became a real life reality. So ask yourself, when was the last time you met someone who actually worked at NASA? That didn't happen by accident. It happened because of pure conviction. And when I ask people today what they truly want, maybe they say they want a great wealth or freedom. And I simply ask them as a follow-up question, do you honestly believe deep down that you can have it? And they hesitate. They say, well, I'm not really sure. It's hard to say. That's why I'm here. To them, their own dreams feels like a stranger. It feels unnatural and far away. But think about nature. Every giant tree starts with a tiny seed. And that seed holds a quiet promise and a full possibility of growing into something great. That seed doesn't doubt itself, it just grows. Remember this, keep it close to your heart. Unless you truly believe in the possibility of your dream, it will never happen. The outside world cannot give you what you do not first feel inside of yourself. If your dream feels far away, it will stay far away. But if you dare to accept it and feel it, walk it with the confidence that one day it will be mine at least, I promise you it will change your world. So right now, just like Rihanna, you might feel like that you are living on your own little rock. You might be surrounded by limited environment, no obvious way out, no clear path to your goals. But ask yourself, can you believe in the possibility of your dream? Just the possibility of it. Nothing more, nothing less. If you can hold that belief in your mind, your dreams will eventually present itself right in front of you as your physical reality. The very first step is the seed. It is the simple hope, the positive image, and the willingness to accept that your dream is possible. You must have that positive expectancy of your dreams. No dream is ever too big. No dream is ever too foolish. It is our only limited understanding of how things work that makes a dream seem impossible. Now, if I can be honest, if I had met that person from India when they were a child, and then they told me they wanted to work at NASA or some aerospace agency, I would have dismissed it just as a cute, childish idea, just like most people would. To the world, this is called childlike faith. But to Neville Goddard, it was the power of assumption, positive expectation. And this is precisely what every parent ought to do. And they must do. Nurture that big, wonderful dream and keep it alive in the minds of their children. And this is the single most valuable gift a parent can offer. But sadly, most parents do the exact opposite. They drag the child back to reality, a reality built entirely on the parents' own limited beliefs, not the child's infinite potential. Now, if we can listen to Rihanna's word on the stage, let me quote it to you. She says, I know. I know that saying believing in your dreams is a sound cliche, but I guarantee you that the only thing that got me here was believing in my dream. I never doubted it. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I knew I was hidden away on this little rock, Barbados. And how would anyone find me? But I always knew that it would happen. I always focused on the result, and that kind of faith, it really was just a faith. That childlike faith. And even now, when I get little bit discouraged or doubtful, it's the thing that I go back to. Have faith in God like that, even as a child. And I want to encourage not just the people of Westbury New Road or Westbury community, but all of the people in Barbados, all the young women, young men who have dreams and think that the world is against them. It is possible. So just keep believing. So I say to you today, the only thing you are required to do is believe in the possibility of your dreams, no matter what those dreams might be. In the ancient story of Odyssey, I believe you must know it. There's a famous concept, a quote, a very small quote. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But let me tell you the truth. The first step is never physical, it is mental. The first step is deciding to believe that your goal is possible. Before you can manifest any desire into this physical world, first you must accept inside yourself that it is possible, that it can happen. Imagine this for just this moment. Suppose you met an average young girl living on a very small, quiet island near your country. Say if you're from India. Say an indigenous girl from Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And suppose she looked at you with complete sincerity and said, one day I am going to be the biggest superstar on this entire planet. Would you believe her? Most people would smile and they would adore the cuteness and innocence of this child, but completely dismiss the actual possibility of the dream. Now imagine looking back 10, 15 years later and seeing that exact girl standing as a global pop star, famous in every corner of the earth. How would you feel then? And that girl was Rihanna. What other people think is possible or impossible is simply none of your concern. Let them limit their own lives through their own senses and doubts. And as for you, simply turn inward. Just believe in your dream. Rihanna laid out this exact truth. She made it clear that entire mindset was fixed on one thing, focusing on the end result. She did not waste her energy worrying about the obstacle or logistics of how she would get there. When the self-doubt and discouragement tried to creep in, she simply returned to the pure, childlike faith. Her message was simple. It is possible if only you maintain the belief. Now I can sit here and tell you that this law works. I can share story after stories and many stories, unnumbered stories, but unless you're personally convinced to the point where you actually put this into practice, nothing in your life will change. I can give speeches, or you can buy expensive courses from the greatest gurus and pundits in the world. But unless you apply the law yourself, it remains useless to you. Just look at this way. If I can hand you a can opener, but the can will never open unless you physically use it. The can is your mind, and can opener is the deep personal realization that all things are possible if you truly believe it. Nowadays, everyone is searching for techniques. People want a quick technique for everything, a technique to stop overthinking, a technique to fix their life, a technique to fix this or that or some other thing. But stopping overthinking isn't a secret technique, it's a conscious decision. It is a moment of self realization. And that is precisely what manifestation is. It is not a set of complicated tricks or some techniques. It is a simple, profound realization that as within, so without. The entire universe is mental. What you hold in your mind is what you project onto the screen of space. So if you have a desire right now, perhaps you are seeking to restore a relationship with your specific partner, specific person, the SP, you must first believe that it is genuinely possible before you even begin practicing so called manifestation. Yes, that loving relationship with my partner is possible for me. Even if you feel isolated, even if you feel like you're living on a distant rock, it is the possible that moment you accept within. Similarly, if you think you want some wealth in life, serious wealth, generational wealth, but you first must believe that you are worthy of it, that it is possible for you. It is not just meant for the rich people or other people, not just you. No, it is possible for you. Even if there are no history of any person of similar degree of wealth in your entire bloodline, you could be the first. But first, you must believe in the possibility of it. For health, again, even if you have a history, a family history of certain disease, and you're facing it right now, can you believe the possibility of the very first person who's got rid of it? Similarly, for career and dreams, can you believe in the possibility that you're not meant for lower or middle management, that you are an executive guy? Can you believe in the possibility of it? Seeing yourself in a sea facing, absolutely beautiful office with the president or vice president written outside under your name? If you can believe that it is possible for you, then it will be. Just remember, everything is possible for the one who believes.